The chair recognizes Senator Schiff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Wright, you acknowledged earlier in the hearing being present when one of the DOE's representatives made a comment about rubber stamping decisions made elsewhere. Can you tell us exactly what the comment was and who made the comment?
Thank you so much. So that meeting happened in early June, if I remember correctly, subject to check. I was contacted by Mike Goff and at DOE. He and Ted Garish wanted to come over and talk about the executive order for DOE and DOD. They came on a Friday morning, and we had started our meeting. And there were 3 people who came in. Adam Blake, who was, I mentioned him earlier, he had 2 other people with him. One was a lady, an attorney. I don't remember her last name. I think her first name was Alicia. And then there was another attorney there by the name of Seth Cohen. And that meeting, it was actually Seth Cohen that used the rubber stamp comment. And it was, when they walked in, I stopped the meeting and I let Mr. Blake introduce the others. And when I started the meeting back, I told him, I said, we were just talking about the executive order for DOE and DOD, and that's when the comment was made. He said, "Oh, well, y'all are basically going to put in a practice that's going to sort of rubber stamp what they do." And I said, "Well, we don't."
And he was referring to rubber stamp the decisions made by DOE and DOD?
No, maybe. I didn't press him on that. I didn't ask him about that. All I said
was it a sense that he was suggesting that the NRC was simply going to rubber stamp what the nuclear industry wanted?
No, because I pushed back. That's what was in the
No,
article.
but what was that? Was that his suggestion? That his expectation was that the NRC was now going to be rubber stamped for the industry?
I think he was thinking the intent of that, whatever the executive order was.
So that's how he was interpreting the executive order?
Whether he chose the right words or not, I don't know, but we pushed back and said we don't rubber stamp the meeting that we were having with DOE and DOD.
Commissioner, I'm grateful that you pushed back. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to get understanding of how he views your role, which is obviously alarming to everyone who's concerned about nuclear safety. Let me ask a related question to each of you, and I'll start, Mr. Marzano, with you. Should you decide that a nuclear design is unsafe, notwithstanding the wishes of DOE or DOD or anyone else, do you think you're at risk of being fired from the commission by a president who has demonstrated willingness to fire commissioners without cause?
Well, I certainly think that we've seen that happen, and I think there's pressure. But ultimately, the NRC will not license a reactor that is unsafe. If that does not meet our standards, we will not approve such a design.
But you acknowledge that it's very possible, should you decide that a reactor design is unsafe and vote that way, that you may be fired by the administration?
I think that's a possibility, yes.
Mr. Crowell, is that a possibility in your view?
I think on any given day, I could be fired by the administration for reasons unknown.
Mr. Wright, do you think you'd be fired if you should decide against the administration's desires that a nuclear reactor design is unsafe?
It doesn't matter. I'm going to make the right decision, and I'll stand by that decision.
But you acknowledge you have to at least be concerned.
I
You have to be concerned about the possibility you'll be fired for it.
I don't know. In my mind, it's speculation, and it's talking. It's not
Well,
something. But I'm going to make the right decision. Period.
It may be speculation, Chairman, but if you and the other commissioners have to be concerned that if you make a decision in the interest of public safety that runs afoul of the desire of the administration to approve something on a short timetable, that you'll be fired. That's not a conducive situation to nuclear safety. Would you agree? If you have to worry about being fired for making the right decision?
Well, I may look at it a little bit differently than how you're saying it.
Well, let me ask you this. The timetable says now within 12 months or 18 months you have to approve or reject a design. What if you don't have the information in 12 or 18 months? Do you have to vote on it regardless?
No, in the 12 and 18 months is actually for, you've got 12 months, 18 months on the construction side, then you have another 12 or 18 months to do the other part of it.
And
which is
if
the
you don't have sufficient information within that timetable?
Again, if you don't have a decision, information to make a safety decision or to approve an application, you don't approve it.
So you can ignore the timetable if you don't believe you have sufficient information?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The chair